The NBA has been surpassed this decade. That's been the story of the first half of the 2020s. Major League Baseball has retaken its position as the second most popular professional sport in America. 10 years ago, baseball was in a similar spot to where the NBA is right now. Let's not forget, 10 years ago, baseball on national shows such as this one, a frequent punching bag for the national media, reticent to change, a product feeling robotic because too focused on analytics. Constantly, you'd get those off-season summer topics. Hey, how do we fix baseball? Have you noticed we haven't really heard that topic so much in the last few years? How do you fix baseball? Because largely they did fix their product. They enforced the pitch clock, making games 30 minutes quicker. They adjusted the schedule where every team plays each other during the season. You got generational stars, so some of it's luck. Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani that happen to play for the two biggest brands the game offers. That's now where the NBA is at, where because of analytics, it's too many threes, and it's made the product look the same. Every team's trying to do the same thing. And the league doesn't seem willing to make dramatic moves to change things. And you have the national critics out there. This is now the league that's become the punching bag. Here was Bill Simmons, for example, this week, courtesy of his podcast, specifically naming Adam Silver.
To me, there's like huge fundamental issues with the league that they're just yada-yadaing and pointing to all the media money they've made and the fact that their players are famous and that everybody loves the playoffs. It's like the regular season has real issues. It's too long. Guys are getting hurt too much. Everybody is making so much money. The only reason to have 82 games is because you make money from it. And it's the first time I've really wondered, like, do we have the right guy running the league? Because he doesn't seem interested in actually fixing real problems that everybody can see.
Here's evidence that baseball has surpassed the NBA. Last year, both Major League Baseball and the NBA had their seasons decided in Game 7. But it was the World Series that drew 27.1 million viewers in a busy sports month, a congested sports month in October, while the NBA Finals drew 11 million fewer viewers. 16 million with next to no competition in the month of June. Baseball is now the number 2 most popular professional sport in this country, not the NBA anymore. After last decade, it was fabulous with LeBron and the Heatles and then going up against Steph Curry and the Warriors and the end of Kobe Bryant's career. It doesn't have the same sizzle, and the product is a core problem. But it's not just baseball that surpassed the NBA. College basketball, while the ratings haven't caught up yet, college basketball has become a better product than the NBA. But don't just take it from me. Jay Williams was on ESPN this week saying the same thing.
I'm not saying the talent, but the college basketball product is better than the NBA product right now. Mm-hmm. And I firmly believe that because each night in college basketball, you're having top 15 matchups, and the best players are actually playing in the games, and they're competing each and every night. Now, here's a number that everybody needs to recognize at home. The number is 13. 13. It's a historic number. When I go through the NBA draft coming up in June in 2026, I have 13 true freshmen who will be the first 13 picks of the NBA draft. Wow. You will hear a lot of names like A.J. DeBonsa or Darren Peterson or Cameron Boozer, but there are names at 7, 8, 9, 10 that are types of transcendent players that will transform an NBA team.
Other than Darren Peterson, you know that if a star can play in college, he's going to. There's no such thing as load management in college basketball. It's a 31-game season. That's a sprint, not a marathon. Also, is there a postseason in sports that's as good as the NCAA tournament is? And since athletes are now being paid handsomely, you have familiar names deciding not only to stay in school, you have some athletes suing to stay in school longer. Looking at you, Diego Pavia, and looking at you, Charles Bediako, looking at you, Trinidad Chambliss, who got a positive ruling in court this week. So the product in college, it's gotten better. And if the NBA continues to be stagnant, if the NBA continues to make small measure changes rather than do something dramatic, it's not just going to be baseball that surpasses them. It might be college basketball too. So it's the NBA's it's their turn to do what baseball did. Figure out a way to fix the product. And here's a starting point. If you want to fix the load management problem, go to 64 or 70 games in the regular season. Understand that you might have to sacrifice a little bit of cash in order to do so. We get that, but you already made such a net positive with your new TV deal that it should, if the product is better, it's going to net you more. You're going to make up that difference in the future. Sacrificing now so you can make more in the future because your product's better, that should be of value. Think about it this way. Will Dalton, what is the most common excuse we hear for why players need to load manage? Like, what's the reason why players load manage? What do they generally say?
Because if there's a back-to-back, they want to protect their legs. They want to make sure they're good for the playoffs. That's usually what it is.
What were those first few words you said there?
Back-to-backs.
Uh-huh. So what if the NBA says, guess what? Now that we're playing 64 or 70 games, and we're going to get rid of All-Star Weekend too because that doesn't matter and we already have the in-season tournament, guess what? No more back-to-backs. There's not another back-to-back the rest of the way, and we're spreading out the schedule. What excuse do you have at this point? By the way, hated back-to-backs are just impossible to play. As if, like, 90s NBA players flying commercial
Seriously.
when guys were getting mugged out there and fouls weren't getting called. Oh, they went with it. They dealt with it. And you might be saying, well, Josh, that's a totally different time. Is there a sport, if only there was a sport out there that shared the same season schedule format as the NBA does, that's more physical than the NBA is, yet guys don't look. Oh, wait, that's the NHL. The NHL plays
right.
82, and no one load manages in that sport, and guys are losing teeth and getting checked into the boards, and they play back-to-back. So not really all that interested in the excuses, but changes need to be made. It is commendable that the NBA is fining the Jazz and finding the Pacers for clear tanking, as we've seen this week. There's only so much you could do, but you got to be proactive, and small measure changes not going to be enough. Because what's happened, we've watched the NBA right before our eyes go from being the second most popular sport in this country to the third. And it could get worse. Gosh, is there really a good reason for the NBA not to be the second most popular sport in America with the stars that they have, and that baseball might be going through a work stoppage a year from now? Come on. Get on it, NBA. And now's the time to call them out with football season finished and All-Star Weekend having arrived.